Hey everybody, GReimer here, coming at you once again from Cerro Gordo Zoo, doing some more ZAWA for your eyeballs and ear holes to enjoy on this wonderful Friday. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful Friday, because I'm having a pretty good one. I'm doing alright. I'm doing good. Hopefully you are doing good too. Alright, so if you guys did not catch last week's, or this past weekend's live stream, you missed a bunch, okay? We did a lot of work over in the aquarium area as far as prepping that body of land to be more like the rest of Cerro Gordo, doing the landscaping and stuff, kind of molding out the shape of everything. And we also built this thing. All right, so we built the banded penguin exhibit, and there's 6 of them in there actually, and they were actually native to this land. Oh yeah, by the way, check this out. We got this land built in the live stream, as well as all the seating that you're gonna see here for with the orca exhibit, which is right here. It's a perfect circle, which I'm not against, but it is a little small, so I might make it more oval shape later. I'm not too sure. Still kind of bouncing around that idea, or maybe I'll just keep it a circle. Who cares? I mean, it's fine. It's a pretty big aquarium. In case you didn't notice, I got a little something going on back there. That was done after the live stream. That is a shipwreck that I'm working on, but that is taking a while because that what you're seeing right there is 4 hours. That's 4 hours of work right there. This is actually a design that I've built once before, and it was my base on Pixelmon Evolved. If you guys watched that series, it's on the channel. Go back and check it out if you want to see the final result of what this is inevitably going to be. But as you can see, this ship is actually kind of canted to the side a little bit. This isn't just like a ship sitting flat. This is kind of canted to the side. And I got like the ribs of it kind of put in place, and as well as some kind of markers for some other details I'm going to be putting on it. And I started working on the back also before I kind of gave up and logged off because my brain was leaking out of the side of my head. So this is, it's coming together slowly, but I'll have to keep working on this in between episodes because this is not very interesting to watch. This is me placing a block, stepping back, wondering if it's right, and kind of positioning it again, and it takes forever. It takes forever. So yeah, it's not it's not super interesting to watch, but the end result is always really cool. So I'll keep working away at this. This is the backdrop for the orca exhibit. Actually, it's gonna be shipwreck. That's what we went over in the live stream, and this is what this is the start of it so far. So I got like the bow of the ship out there, and the keel of the ship is actually like right here. Technically, it's this one right here, and then this is like part of the side. Yeah, because it's kind of leaned over on its side. I don't know if I'm making sense with what I'm saying, but you'll see it in its finished glory as the episodes progress. I'll keep chipping away at it and getting more and more done. I also added a whole lot of extra land right here, and it is kind of sporadic. Like you can see water still here or whatever like that, but I mean you can't really go down in it. And that's fine because I got to doodad up this whole landscape, so it looks like this shipwreck has crashed onto some rocks that are jutting out. That's the plan. My original plan was to actually just take this existing peninsula, which is here, which kind of curved, which way it curved? West and then northward a little bit. Take that, but then reverse the curve of it and have it go more northward and then curve westward. That way it meant like kind of like a breakwater is what I described it as. And that way the ship was crashed onto that. I had one problem with that though. I outlined the peninsula. I got it down. I started filling it in, and then I looked at the mini-map. Okay, so let's just try to keep a good holy mind here, good Christian mind. But with this nice circular design right here, and then a peninsula that that went out this way, it looks bad. Okay, so I built more land to make this one big body of water, big body of water, because that was totally on accident. And when after I outlined it, I was like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So we got more land, people. I'll pretty this up to make it look all nice and decorative. It's gonna be kind of like shallows with the rocks jutting out of it. That's the plan anyway. And I even got to work a little bit on like fixing up this side over here, right here. Look at that. I even blended that in so that it actually kind of makes sense. I'll add spikes and spires sticking out of the water a little bit. I think I still have to get the bow side of the ship, the land there done, like over here. Yeah, I didn't do this yet. It's just flat. So there's still a lot of work in progress for this thing. This is, like I said, this is a project that I'll be working on between episodes because of how slow and tedious this goes. But it's started. But that's not what I want to talk about in today's episode, though. Today's episode, I want to add another exhibit into the aquarium. Now, we built these bleachers that's like circular seating, which I still think looks really cool on the mini-map, actually. The beacon's obviously not going to be there when we're all done. But it did leave this canal right here. We also got this bridge done over here. We actually did a lot. Go back and watch that live stream if you could, because, man, there's a lot of stuff done. We got this land built up right here, as well as a bridge connecting over here. We got so much stuff, so much stuff. I do have to finish the path, though. I didn't even get around to that. I was building a boat. Sorry, I was building a boat. but yeah, we got this bridge leading across here, and instead of raising it up and getting it up on top of like the landmass here, I figured why not keep it down low and we'll build this trench right in here, and then we can put exhibits on either side of the trench. Plus, I had to keep it blending in a little bit to the mountain, so there's some stuff I had to keep in mind. But right here is where people will walk through then, and we can have exhibits on either side of this here. So I think this will make for a really awesome kind of natural looking aquarium section, as well as having a little bit of a part that kind of turns into a cave. I need to somehow, and I haven't figured this out yet in my head, but I will, figure out how to connect this path up to the sides of the viewing area for the orca, because that's how people would get up here then, is on either side of it. We also have a little path in the middle of it. So yeah, now the bottom inside here, this is not finished. This is nowhere near done, okay? This is just the raw ocean floor that was here to begin with. So we still got a lot to do in the orca exhibit. That's in a later episode. But in this episode, I thought it would be fun if we added an aquarium to one of these walls right here. Like maybe even the big one right here. Because I kind of want to put one underneath the seating area for the orca exhibit, going all the way along this. And I'm thinking about doing it for the eels, actually. Yeah, I think we should probably do this for the eels. But before we get around to putting eels and digging out a whole big section there and designing some really epic looking aquarium and all that other jazz, the sun is setting, creepers be creeping, I need to take a nap, but most importantly, I need to fly back home because we have some leopards to name, because you guys killed it in the comment section, and I gotta go name them. Let's go. Okay, if I do not select your name, do not be disheartened, do not be discouraged. I pick these things kind of randomly sometimes, and also I kind of look to see which ones make me laugh and all that other stuff. But thank you to everyone who submitted a name this week for the leopards. We're going to go with the top voted one, and that's Bagheera. Okay, now Bagheera was the panther in the Jungle Book, but people are saying we should name a leopard that. So there we go, bwam. Bagheera. And big shout out to Puppet Master 13, Christopher Renshaw, Milgill, and Nickel Plays for all suggesting Bagheera. And for the second leopard, we're going to name this one Harry Potter. And that was suggested by Kathy Clism, and it made me laugh. And for the last one that we're going to be adding, we're going to be naming this one Tai Lung, and that is the name of the panther in, of the leopard in Kung Fu Panda. So that's that was the antagonist in that film. So big shout out to Christopher Renshaw and Giga Tegu for both suggesting that. All right, so here we have our leopard exhibit. Let's hop on down here and get these placed in here real quick. We got the first one's gonna be Bagheera. There we go, Bagheera, and Bagheera is a male. And the second one, place that one right there, bwam, is Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is a male as well. And for the third one, we're going to place that right there. This is going to be Tai Lung, and Tai Lung is a female. All right, we can get out of here with a little ender pearl action before these things wake up. I mean, they're still pretty drugged up from the last time we encountered each other, but that'll wear off shortly, and then they'll be back looking for who shot them. And that was me. Oh yeah, they are awake. And they are pissed. Anyway, back to the aquarium. Okay, so we got to think about what we're going to do today. Now, I want to make this for the moray eels, I think is what they're called. I want to build a nice long exhibit right here so that they can swim back and forth on it. Now, the decoration I put right here for kind of like the cliff edge doesn't have to be necessarily followed. I can always take some liberties with it. I do want to have the stone kind of curving or kind of curling over the edge of the top part of the glass for sure. But I am going to have to dig this thing out real quick. And I think it's basically hollow on the inside anyway. But I gotta make sure I don't do that. Like, that's bad. Okay, after doing a little bit of digging, that's what we got so far. Now, this is not by any means the finished product. This is just rough cut into the wall here for right now. And it fits underneath the bleachers. As you can see here, like these things, this is actually where the bleachers are. Like, it's totally where the people are gonna be sitting. So I can't really dig that part out, so that's gonna have to stay there just the way it is. But we can work with that. It's going to look like there's like a little bit of a slope. So this is going to look like they're in a cave, which I think is kind of interesting. However, the question is do I want it to keep that look, or should I line the back of this with like a white concrete so that it looks more like an aquarium? I'm kind of tempted to do the white concrete, but obviously we're going to have to jazz up the floor here a little bit. That can probably stay put right where it's at. But we're going to jazz up the floor here a little bit and bring it down just a hair, just so that we can do some decorative stuff in the front of this. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the ground here just a little bit in the front, and then I'm going to put some white concrete along the back of this. And then I'll leave the stone ceiling part the way it is. And then we'll be getting closer to being able to fill this thing up with water, and then actually get around to filling it up with water and putting eels in here. I mean, we just got a couple of decorations to do, and this thing will be almost done. Maybe jazz up the front of it. Yeah, this will probably be a pretty easy exhibit. But first, I gotta go make more white concrete. Okay, white concrete done. Now we just gotta put this all in place. Okay, now that we have the back of the aquarium in place here, we can get to work on putting in the bottom of this. And so we're gonna sprinkle in, kind of like what we did in the previous aquarium. So we're gonna sprinkle in a lot of coarse dirt, gravel, and then we're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of the sandy coarse dirt, a little bit of sand, maybe even the occasional moss stone, and even got one river stone to throw in here. I kind of ran out of those. I got to go get more of those. But we're gonna first by starting off by sprinkling in the coarse dirt. All right, coarse dirt has been added. Now we just gotta dot the gravel in here as well. We're gonna switch up to the sandy coarse dirt, and then we're gonna leave a few spots open for just some regular sand in here as well. Okay, there we go. That should work pretty good. I also added in a little bit of moss stone here or there. Got the river stone in place as well. Tried to make this not so evenly made right here. I kind of tried to add a couple bits going out, and even this part right here, it's flush with the cobblestone right here. Hopefully that looks all right. Now, we could probably actually put the glass in front of this and start filling it up, because I can always jump in from the top. I can just go up on the stands and just drop on down in. So let's get the glass backpack out right now. And I also cooked up a whole bunch of this stuff, so now we're good to go on glass for a while. Let's start placing some of this stuff in, and then we'll be able to start filling it up with water. All right, the glass is put in place, and this looks pretty crazy now that I actually have that down. I kind of want to... Like, I don't mind this being the full length of the underside of, like, the bleachers and the stands here, but I kind of want to add a little bit of extra support, and this right here looks like the perfect opportunity to do that. Let me grab the ground blocks here and grab a little bit extra stone out of this here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to bring this down so that it's kind of more like a pillar here, like so. And then hopefully that'll make this kind of come together a little bit better. Yeah, that actually does. Okay, so this is still one exhibit, but it has a little extra support right here in the middle, because that's just a lot of weight for on top of glass, you know. Now we do need to jazz up the front of this still, because like I said, I want to have the edge of this wrapping around, kind of like what it is doing right here. That looks really good, actually. But I need to do that on like the entire thing. So I need to kind of do a little extra detailing work on here to make that kind of work. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It kind of looks like drooping like frosting on a cake or something coming off over the edge of it. I sort of like it. All right, now we have to get in there because we have to fill that up with water. I think the easiest way to do that would be to go up top and then just bust our way in. Mission Impossible style. That's glass, dang it. Mission Impossible style. There we go, we're in. Now, I need to start filling this up with water, so give me a second. Okay, it's a little bit of a tight fit, but I did manage to get all the water put in place here. So it looks kind of weird. I think these are just visual glitches. There's water there, so... Okay, so the water's in place, and we can actually move on to decorating. My inventory sucks, though, so I have, I have to kind of clear up some blocks here, get them out of my inventory so I can actually see what I'm doing. But then we'll move on to putting down the plants. I guess before we do plants, though, what I really should worry about is the lighting in here, because... It is going to be a little dark in here with all this water. And so we're going to probably want... Oh, I don't have a lot of spruce leaves. I got to go collect more of these things. But we're going to put down a couple of lights in the ground, I'm thinking, because you can clearly see everything up here, including if I put things in the ceiling that's going to be visible on the stands above it. This is a little bit of a tight fit to fit an exhibit in here. We're going to make it work, but it's just going to be a little bit of a snug fit. Okay, we got these sprinkled in throughout here, so that should provide the lighting that we need to make this actually look pretty good. Now, some of these spruce leaves actually have the face here that looks terrible, but that's fine because on every single one of them, I believe, I can actually fit something so that you can't see that visual, defect there with the water in front of the leaves. So I think that should work out pretty good. Now let's dive on into, let's actually quick put the leaves back, and then we'll quickly make a little bit of extra wiggle room in our inventory. And then we'll dive into the plants backpack and I believe the flowers backpack because that has coral in it. Let's see, that's plants. Yep, coral is in the flowers backpack. All right, so let's grab a variety of coral and we'll start dotting that in here. Okay, let's start with what I got here, which I got a whole bunch of stuff in my inventory. Let's start with what we got here and see what we can make work in this murky abyss here. Murky Abyss, what do you think? Band name? Probably pretty good band name. We're going to need to put down some kelp for sure. Something that the eels can kind of swim around in and kind of bob and weave in between. So these can kind of be periodically spread throughout. I don't want to make it look like they're evenly spread out though, so I am going to kind of dot some a little bit closer in some spots and a little bit farther away in others. I can't have them going in front of the glass though, because that will look really awkward if they get bigger and then you have that weird visual lighting glitch where it doesn't look like there's any water in there, but the kelp is still growing. So I'm going to try to avoid that if I can. All right, let's start off by making sure that we get something in front of the spruce leaves here, so that it gets rid of that weird visual look. Because otherwise, if I forget that, then it's going to bug me later. Okay, I think that's all of them there. Now we're just going to sprinkle in the rest of this coral and see what we come up with. Okay, I'm thinking that's it. Look at that. We got a nice little coral reef thing kind of going on the bottom here. We also got the kelp growing up. That'll look pretty cool once that's all done. Now, we do have to get out of here because there's nothing left for me to really do in this exhibit, I don't think, on the inside. I have to jazz up the outside just a little bit. But this should do just fine for the eels. I'm thinking that they'll do just... They'll be happy here. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but I think they'll be fine because they'll feel sheltered, in here. And I really can't make it any farther back. Can't make it farther back because, one, you'll start to not be able to see the eels with the depth of the water, and two, the bleachers are in the way. So now I have to try to get out of here somehow. Where did I come in here? Was it right here? Oh, is it nighttime? Creepers be creeping. I bet you they're everywhere. Oh, yeah. There's monsters all over the place. Lost track of time while I was down there. Let's see if I can sleep quick so I can get rid of some of these guys. Alright, slept, but this guy wanted to come and say hello. Let's take care of some of these creepers here. We also got a little baby zombie coming towards us. Get out of here, baby zombie. Shoo. Alright, let's take care of some of these creepers too, because I really don't feel like blowing up this brand new area that I got. Alright, got 11 gunpowder out of that. Not too shabby. Okay, let's get back over here to where we were, though. I had to clear out kind of in a wide range here because there's a lot of enemies that spawned in over the night. That's what happens when you lose track of time. Oh yeah, look at this. This is looking pretty good. I'm liking that a lot. I think that's really cool how they have it. I have it bedded like in the wall here, so that it's part of the channel that you're walking through here. So all right, we're gonna be putting some eels in there, and I have a whole bunch of eels. I'm gonna say probably at least 3, maybe 4 eels I'm gonna put in there. So I need some eel names if you could down in the comments section. That'd really help me out a lot. Now, before we get out of here though, I do want to make sure that I jazz up the path here a little bit. So let me get to digging this part out. All right, with that dug out, you know the routine here. We're gonna speckle in a bunch of the stone I just carved out of there actually, but it's gonna be much more sporadically put in. It's easier to do it this way for me, at least. It might be different for other people. Ooh, leg spike. Because I don't have to really think about where I'm punching in the holes or anything like that into the stone. So dig all of it out and then come back through and dot it back in. And then we're gonna go through and add in a couple. Oop, not right there. That's a bad placement right there. A couple of grass blocks. Now these are obviously gonna be turned into path blocks in the end, but we're gonna speckle them in here just occasionally. And then, of course, mat those things down so that they look like path blocks. We're going to go through some coarse dirt then and add that as well. Kind of heavily, actually, because we're going to have this be a primary block here in the path. And then we're going to add in a bunch of gravel, too. So the gravel will be pretty heavy also, but I got to leave a spot or two occasionally because very rarely I sprinkle in cobblestone into these paths as well. Just like that. Couple little blocks here or there. Perfect. All right, so we got our path put in. That should do just fine for the footpath in this area. Now this is obviously going to branch off this way and go up over there, but that's all for a future exhibit, I'm thinking. So, all right, we got the eel exhibit put in, the moray eel exhibit put in today. What do you guys think? Does this look good, bad, in between? I'm thinking that this whole area is going to look really good. Now, I have to do a lot of terraforming, and like I said, I'm going to be working on this in between episodes as far as like the shipwreck, because it's slow and tedious and it takes forever. But then I'm going to be doing some landscaping over in that area, especially to go with the shipwreck too. So next episode, you should see a big jump in production there as far as how far I've got in the build. Hoping to get all of it if I can. I mean, it's going to take a little bit, but I'm hoping to get all of it if I can. And then as well as the landscaping. This chest, by the way, just has stone in it for working on the landscape, in case you guys are wondering. But I'm thinking that's going to be it. I'm thinking that's going to be all we're going to do for today. So if you guys did enjoy it, please go down and smash that like button. It would really help me out a lot. And thank you guys so much for donating your eyeballs and ear holes to this episode of ZAWA. Remember, I need some eel names. So if you could in the comment section, I'd really appreciate it. All right, you guys, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.